Okay, let's get started. So welcome everybody. My name is Lanzo Luconi. I am the founder and director of the Costa Rica Piano Festival, and this is our second episode on the series of the art of improvisation with none other than Dr. Luis Monge. Luis Monge is a phenomenal musician. He also takes active part in this festival. He is the assistant director of this visionary project from the very, very start. And we put together this series to introduce this concept of improvisation that unfortunately has been lost along the years. Not completely lost, but maybe we lost a little bit of the practice of doing it. At least some of the classical musicians like myself and others. So we want to bring this back and show how the benefits of this can improve your performance, your way of thinking, your creativity. And today we are going to focus on melodic creativity, how to build melodies, how to make them more creative, and how to utilize this, whether it's in your composition or maybe improve the way that you express the melodic lines written by other composers. So just a couple reminders before we get started. Please keep your mics muted, your cameras off, and we'll have a Q&A section at the very end where you'll be able to ask questions, or if you want to participate with any comments, that's more than welcome, but we're going to leave that to the end. And I think we're ready to take off. So, Luis.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Here is, I am in Escazú, a very nice place here in San Jose, Costa Rica. And we're this morning here in San Jose, we are talking about within the frame of the Costa Rica Piano Festival, we want to approach briefly a few concepts related to creative melody. Not only the melody, which is probably the structural component that appeals more intensely to our feelings, or connects strongly with feelings, musical feelings. And we probably remember a work or a song specifically by retaining or recalling or calling upon the melody that we heard before, or performed if we memorized a word. But at this time, we would like to focus or approach it from the other side, which is, how do we improvise a creative melody? Since it's also a structure, it's a component. Well, speaking about structure, I invite you to take a look at this picture which will give us a specific framework, if we can say so, or just take it as an example, demonstration of how melody is shaped, or possibilities of shaping melody. I share screen. Yes, figure 1 is talking about melodic contour categories, right? So it's this outline that we have when we build a melody, a consecutive combination of tones, right? So we have so many different possibilities. Here we have a few of them. And I would like just to approach 2 or 3 of them. Like, for example, it's very easy to think in shaping our melody. For example, rising notes, like we know in many works, but then falling, or maybe V-shaped. Or terraced, for example. right? So just to talk take a closer look at a few of them that we see on this picture. So what is involved in a creative melody when talking about making music right in the moment, that is improvising it? Well, we have to have motives, which is relating to the way we speak, we communicate, is the sense of a word. So we need some kind of words at the beginning, or some words, and we have to shape them, right? So in music, we give them an intonation, a direction, like we see in this picture. So let me just give you an example very briefly. I would like to start with a motive, and I just right now I'm going to sing this motive. Right? It's going down, it's falling a little bit, one step down and then going up. Now, how do I elaborate on that and let it become a creative melody, an interesting, appealing melody? Let me share with you another document. This one, 4 guidelines for a creative melody. Now I have the motive, an idea, some kind of idea, and I start, and I did already, by singing or playing over a simple chord progression. In this case, I will add up the horizontal structure of music, the vertical part or structure of music, which is what we call in tonal traditional music harmony or chord progression. Let me start with a chord progression, simple, like this. Right? So just two chords. How did I came to this idea of putting these 2 chords together? Well, just because I had an F and G and A flat and traditional harmony. This is related probably to some key signatures, some tonal fields like C minor or F minor or G, E flat major, or in this case A flat. I used the A flat. Going down, modal to a G minor. Okay, so first, over a simple chord progression. Second, breathe life into your melodies with interesting rhythmic stressing and accents. So I have already a rhythmic structure in this motive. Right? Some shorter, some longer notes, and now I have to elaborate on it. Pay close attention to the melodic contour as we saw in the picture before. Now is the definition. Let me add to the picture before. Is a definition. Melodic contour is overall shape of the line that your melody traces as it moves up and down. Melodic lines can move in a few different ways, as we saw before. By step or stepwise motion is when a melody moves by consecutive notes in the scale. By step is when a melody moves by consecutive notes in the scale. By skip is when melody moves by intervals of larger than a second, right? So pay close attention to your melodic contour, that is shaping the line. And number 4, outline when possible, or where possible, if we are talking in this case about tonal traditional harmony, outline the harmony, right? So first of all, let me just elaborate on this motive and this melody, taking into consideration this advice. There. Okay, let me just use these chords. Or even more interesting is instead of going to a harmonic rest to that E flat, why don't we just let it flow and give the sense of continuation? Well, not too much rhythmic stressing, but let's put some rhythmic stressing and accents instead of why not? So I'm just moving, I'm just using some chord progressions related. Remember, one important thing which we will approach next week is related to, is the topic or the theme, the issue of harmonic creativity. These chords, I'm getting closer to my idea when I develop my motive and my melodic line, combining chords that are neighbors, like F minor chord, like half diminished, D half diminished. I used also a G7. I used also a D, C minor. I used at the very end, this time, the C7, in order to outline or give support to the melody motion. So, in other words, let's review it. This simple, brief approach today. Remember that melody is a structure. So it's something you really have to think about. It's not something that jumps into the picture. You have to think in terms of words, a motive, and you assign to this motive intervals, rhythms, accents, and then you develop creating a contour. Elaborate on that, creating a contour, a line, different types of line or contour categories as we saw in the first picture. And then let it breathe. Let it breathe. Give accents, rhythmic stressing, different rhythmic structures. And pay very close attention that you don't keep on moving the same way. Let it grow in contrast, like I tried at the very beginning. was a D. Now I added up on another level, because now I'm not playing a single note, but I'm playing also a third, adding texture, right? So why don't you try yourself this morning or these days, just to give yourself a chance to create different melody sketches, because melodies is like the is a motivation for musicians to keep on learning music, and why not getting closer to the practice of improvisation, so you feel like you are understanding yourself or getting to know yourself better. When you put words together, are your own words, in this case, sounds together, tones together, and try to build them up in a way that you finally get a nice piece of melody, a nice line of melody. So I'm gonna end up creating another motive and letting you enjoy my thoughts at this moment. Remember, in my mind, singing the melody, or out loud. You can start off by singing the melody or playing it on the instrument, letting it breathe, stressing, giving it rhythms and accents, and let it also speak out. Pay close attention to the structure, to the line, and remember, put it together in combination, in a friendly relationship with the vertical structure that is with harmony, that we will approach next week. Lanzo, how was our program this morning?
It's great. Can we stop sharing the screen of the other one? So there we go. All right. Well, thank you, Luis. That was amazing. That was really helpful too. I know some people sometimes have trouble maybe understanding or even taking that first step into improvisation. It's like, where do I start? Like, what do I do? So this is the perfect resource for a lot of you to just make something up. We talked last week about like how to just take that first step, and now here's one of the resources or another resource to just sit at the piano or in your instrument and just try it. The cool thing about this is there's no mistakes. You just try things and something will you learn along the way. So so we're gonna go into now the Q&A section. I'm sure some people have questions. We did receive a few questions on our Instagram page. Maybe we'll get to those first, while the people that are here with us prepare their questions. You may unmute your mic or just write the question on the chat. But so Luis, I received this question on our Instagram page. When you're improvising, do you start with melody or do you start with harmony?
It depends on the mood, sometimes, or the imagination, because remember, you imagine things in so different ways in your daily life. It's the same thing as with sounds, in this case with music. Sometimes there is a chord combination that really sounds great to me because I hear it or I learn it from a word, or because I take it from a song. Or sometimes I sit down and when I'm playing the piano, uh, it happens that I combine certain chords. And this I use sometimes to develop a specific motive and then, remember, a melody line. I would reinforce this very much at this time. Please remember, it's like speaking. You need words, so you need motives. Start with a motive. Start with an idea, a musical idea. Okay. But going back to the question, so sometimes it's with a chord progression that I like, or it just I came across it, or sometimes it's because I really love the melody, inspires me. This melody from different works that you hear every day, or songs, or you just put the line together, the tones together. You listen to something, it gives you some kind of inspiration, or it gives you some kind of motivation when you listen, or it happens something in your life that really impact in a certain way. So you come out with expressing. That's the way that you express or you react to that with some notes. So feel strongly and let your feelings connect strongly to your daily life. So sometimes you will come up with an harmonic progression, sometimes with a melodic. And by the way, sometimes you will come up with both at the same time, the melody and with some chord progression.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Let's see, anyone else here before I move on to the next question? We only have a few minutes left. Okay, well, people are getting ready. So this is another question that came in. What makes a good melody? How do you know it's good? Basically, that's how I read it.
When your spirit, your soul is touched by it, and this is something you cannot put in words or definitions. Theory is, I mean, this thing goes really beyond theory, beyond intellect. When a melody touches your heart, touches your soul, your emotions, it's a good melody. And it depends on so many different aspects and conditions, circumstances. So it will touch, a melody might touch you at some point in your life, and later on it weakens and it won't grow stronger, but rather weaker. So probably you had the experience that when you were 5 years old or 6 years old, you were so emotionally connected with some melody in a song, in a children's song, or with a children's song. And then later on, when you grew up, it doesn't connect that much to you emotionally, or you are not that much connected. So it depends. There are periods in life where you connect with melodies. You love melodies sometimes just because it is your girlfriend's melody or your boyfriend's melody. So, which is not that far abstract, of course. I mean, there are certain parts or components of the melody, like we were approaching today, or we have been approaching this morning here, that will give us a signal that this is probably a very good melody, because you can measure it up by the melodic contour, the construction, the combination, of harmony and intervals, the line is really creative or not. Everybody would say that this is a creative melody for over the centuries. It's because there is leaps, there is a motion in the way the approach notes, the goal notes come to you, right? So, or appeal to you or speak to you. So a good melody is basically is probably remembered, because this is the spiritual part of music. A good melody, there are certain parts that we can measure and say if it's coherent or not. But a good melody is definitely one that touches your heart.
Wow, yeah, I think that's an important thing to know. Even just the general approach to music, right? The best kind of music is the one that touches you, right? If we start from that principle, then we can get into the other things, like you say, because some people tend to be intimidated by the fact, like, oh, maybe this is not a good melody because of the ratio from here to here and the rise here, and they get a little bit too technical about it. I mean, there is a moment where things can get technical or very specific, but that's not the starting point, right? And I think that's a very good point that you make. The starting point again has to be from the heart and from your feelings and just, like you said, reacting to the world around you, expressing it through your instrument or your art in a way. Like some people choose music and there are other art forms, but the principle, I guess, is the same. All right. So does anyone else have questions? So everyone's very clear about how to build melodies. So Luis, could you share those two documents with our participants here? I think you can attach them on the chat, or you can request them by just sending me an email to costaricapiano@gmail.com.
I will do so. I think I better do so. So I emailed them to you, and will be then available for all the participants.
Yeah. So if you want the material that Luis shared today, please let me know, and or maybe leave your email address here, and I will send it to you. Okay, so this concludes our second episode of The Art of Improvisation. Thank you so much for joining us. If you find this valuable, if you really liked it, if you want to keep learning more, please tune in the next few weeks, and please consider also signing up for the course. The Costa Rica Piano Festival has been offering this course since the very beginning. We are huge believers in the benefits of improvisation. So this is a component that we've included from the very start. So please consider signing up for the course. Luis will be talking about these and many other concepts in depth, and you'll be able to participate yourself, play it on your own instrument, on your own keyboard, and you'll get personal guidance from Luis as well. So if you want more information, visit our website. It's CostaRicaPianoFestival.com. There's some options there to participate. And please don't forget to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We have plenty of material and content there. So once again, thank you so much, and have a wonderful week. See you next Thursday.
Yeah. Greetings from Costa Rica.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.